All right. Hello, hello. Um, as you may or may not know, my name is Chris Palmer. In this video, what we're going to be discussing is anything that you would possibly want. So every single week on Thursdays from 4 to 6 p.m., we're going to be hosting a YouTube mastermind. So it's the SEO Mastermind, but here on YouTube. So right now what I'm doing is I'm opening it up to anybody that would like to join currently, but once we hit capacity, it's going to be members only. So sorry for my voice. I may or may not have been, trampolining and, Nerf gunning and hanging out with the kids acting, yelling and screaming. And we were shooting balloons. We had a ball. I had a great time, but I lost my voice and I'm going to talk close to this mic. If you have any questions about SEO primarily, please put them in. I'll be happy to go ahead and go through them, but we could cover whatever you'd like. I'll also go check the poll. Each week I'll put up a poll, or we can either discuss, it could be open hot seat, which is basically what we'll do today, but we'll also put up some discussion topics. So if you have an idea and multiple people agree on the idea, then that's what we'll do. All right. Whether it's going to be an audit, maybe you want to see a tool, you want me to dissect a tool, maybe you want me to go buy a tool and then we get my opinion out of me. I don't know, whatever you want. All right. I'm here for you. I'm here to give you the time, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's see if there's any questions right now. Okay. And then we'll go over and we'll check the poll. We'll see if there's multiple people that agree on a particular topic. All right. Let me just make sure that the volume's up because I don't want to have to yell or be too loud. So, you won't hear the inflection in my voice as well, but I will still be heavily animated because I can't help myself. People yell at me all the time in the comments and I'm just like, block. Here, let's go through here quick. Filters. This is OBS Studio 2. So we're going to mastermind on how to use this. This is how you add a gain to the thing. This way I don't have to yell, but I still sound loud. All right. And it should be getting a little bit louder here. And that's perfect. There we go. We're not peaking. Peaking means going to the red here, by the way. Anyway, let's fix this because I was just in my other group. On Thursday's my mastermind day. Monday through Friday, except for Thursday, is sanctioned for I don't want to say actual work, but this is definitely more fun for me than performing tasks, dealing with team members, things like that. All right, so here we go. Appliance Repair OKC Services. Welcome, Chris Palmer SEO Insider. Awesome, good to have you. Danny Garcia, number 1 SERP rankings, get much lower CTRs due to many of the Google features. GBP seems much harder to expand than ever before, especially in high population areas. How do you sell knowing less sales? These are business owners. Like, we can't, as business owners, we can't be fearful of competition, right? Just because, kind of like, think about this, like all the prices went up, but I'm not going to stop buying milk because it costs more, right? And we can't stop trying to rank pages or sell maps listings or try to help the business because they're going to technically pay more to get less calls, right? Like, I still need the phone to ring. Like, yeah, it's harder. I agree. And yes, proximity has shrunk, no question, especially in high comp markets. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't swing, right? So how do I sell? Something's better than nothing, personally. So that's just my personal opinion on that, Danny. We still go for it. It is what it is. On top of that, I just want to point out this, as far as the proximity is concerned, it's still a prominent strategy to get more than one verified listing that shows an address. You know, how you do that is up to you, of course, but that's an opportunity. Also, on top of that, organic has become more and more important. Also, you know, we always want to show up in multiple places. Ads up at the top, maps, of course, which has moved down, but, you know, ads, maps, organic. That way our EPC, the probability of generating a call or a click, goes up. Our percentage for success goes up. So expanding your sales tactics other than just maps. Like, I think those days are done, and Google is slowly but surely, you know, tightening the lifeline, you know. There's no question, brother. So hopefully that helps you out. J5, hey Chris, hello to you. KR, what is the best Parasite SEO sites I can use right about now, paid or free? Okay. Medium, Pulse, LinkedIn Pulse, Eventbrite. Here's where, this is why I'm struggling to come up with some. In each SERP, it's not that I'm struggling. It's just the SERPs that I'm in, I don't want to give up the tapes, right? Just to be honest. So what I'm thinking of is, what are general ones that everybody knows that are going right away, right? But for you, for your niche, for your category, which parasites are prominent, right? You know, if I'm selling an affiliate product, these opportunities will be different than if I'm a plumber in Boise, Iowa, right? So hopefully that helps you out. Just take a look. It's putting your primary keyword plus location, put in your primary keyword, put in keyword variation, and then go to that competitor's website and figure out, well, what other keywords does that page rank for? Put those keywords in as well. You know, because then I get new SERPs each time, which is new opportunities, new prospects for Parasite. All right. I'm not a huge fan of the Parasite stuff. I know it's floating around there right now. And, you know, as time is progressing for me, more that I depend on tried and true. Like, I don't like anything that's flash pan or can't be sustainable. Like, Parasite sites change, that strategy changes, like things. I don't like banking my money on something that could wake up tomorrow and now I'm concerned, you know, especially if I'm selling that. Oh gosh. So that's up to you, but that's what I think. You got my money. I like that name, by the way. Thank you for your question. Hey, I have a question about joining the SEO Mastermind here on YouTube. Apparently, how many videos do you have of content for members that have not been shown before? So you have my money. I've recently worked out a partnership, I should say, with a gentleman to help me with this group, right? Because I wish I could, but I can't do everything, right? Like, even though I try. So as the time progresses and when we switch to members only, right? We'll have, most trainings have 10 to 15 pieces of content. I have a slew of training. So probably anywhere between 200 to 400 videos. Yeah, I mean, a lot. Plus, anytime, most of the time, if I do something on YouTube and it could be a good piece of content and maybe something is shown or something is said that shouldn't be, I move it to members. Then on top of that, we're doing our weekly. So a lot. Hopefully that helps you. All right, Brian, thank you for your question. Do you have a method to get relevant backlinks? That's an interesting question, Brian. And in my opinion, relevance is derived from the backlinks that are pointing to the website. So I think that there is a lot of ways to get relevant backlinks. And some of those would include guest posts, link inserts, some PR depending on your category. Recently, Haro also doing actual outreach based on the category or category lists. You know, time consuming and expensive, but it's a new offering. You know, I tried to seclude that, but then also I really like guest posts. I like homepage links. I like link inserts, niche edits, whatever you want to call it. That's what we primarily utilize. Hopefully that helps. Oh, also, what I'm going to do, Trevor and L. Dell, I'm going to, hey, Randy, good to see you. On the next call, when my voice is better and I can interact better, what we're going to do in the members section only members will see it. I'm going to add a restream link so people, if you want to come on and we can all interact with each other, you can show your camera or not, but we'll be able to chat live. We'll be able to do that. I have streaming software for that. So as we progress, this group shall change. I just want to let you know. So I'm thinking by next week, we'll be able to offer that. Like it's just a bonus, right? Like, hey, we can all talk and help each other, hopefully. All right, but let's keep going here. I'll try to move faster, sorry. Trevor. How do you feel about buying and creating multiple GBPs with a similar but different domain from the business's domain? Well, Trevor, see, I run across this question or this thought quite consistently because the concept or the idea is we'll have more opportunities to win. But when we start putting that into practice, what you quickly find out is that's actually for websites that have multiple pages, multiple content, multiple uploads, multiple interlinks, multiple sets of citations, directories, PER, guest posts, backlinks, traffic, CRO, email sequencing, forms, right? Call tracking, different phone numbers, and on and on and on. And the idea and the budget, sometimes they just don't mix, right? So it's oftentimes better to put all my energy into this asset than it is to have multiples, even though, hey, it's good to do that. It could be. So really it comes down to, well, what is the budget and what is the time frame? Often, just like most things in life, right? It's all about time and money. Well, family and God, but you get the point. So yeah, if you have the money to do that, then go for it, brother. You know, but most of the time, and also I want to point this out because this is a mastermind, right? So you always underestimate how long things are going to take and how much effort and or dollars it's going to take to reach the finish line. Okay? It's always going to be harder. It's always going to take longer, and it's going to take more than what you think right now. There's no question. So just keep these things in your mind. But thank you for your question. So, Eldel, let me get a drink here quick. I'm going to pop a little all soothing in quick. Give me a sec. Eldel. Hey, thanks for the donation. I don't know who did it, but I appreciate you. $10. Wow. Thank you. I'm going to get a delicious snack. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. It's cool. Impex Autoglass. Thanks, dude. You're the best. You too. All right. So let's go here. Where was he? Eldel. I know who this is, but I don't want to say their name. So we'll go with Eldel. All right. So hello, Chris. Long-time watcher. First-time caller. Yes. I was wondering about your traffic service. I have a client who needs more branded searches. Not sure how to do that. Is it a service that I can help you with? So they need more branded searches. Yes, and I lowered the price. So yes, 1,000%. There's absolutely no question. So when we launched out the proxy service, I also had Tom build a bot essentially, right? But it's not just a bot. It's far different. So with that being said, could I initiate and run branded traffic for you? Definitely. Yes. I can run branded traffic. On top of that, I'm able to get it to a region, right? Or a state. But I will note this, that the originating IPs, even though they'll be mobile, I can manipulate desktop too. But the originating IPs are going to be US based. Like I don't have access yet. Like I don't have servers set up in UK or Australia or Canada. Like I live in the US. So that's one thing. But I'm sure a majority or at least a percentage of your traffic is US based. Just saying. So that's a drawback, because I have to tell you the good with the bad, right? But as far as the good things, I can take care of your overall CTR rate, or more importantly, your bounce. We can go onto the site and stay, just because of resource costs, like let's keep it at 120 minutes, 120 seconds or less. But I have no problem visiting, 2 pages, 3 pages within a session. All right. So we can go for a brand search, land on the page, go to another page, stand for 60 seconds, go to the next page, stand for 120 seconds. All right. So we have that ability. Region specific, real mobile IPs. I think that's it. And to answer your question, yes, I can. And I just recently, we launched another server, so I was able to allocate a few more. So I lowered the price just slightly. I think it's, I feel that it's very, very fair. I think it's like, I forget, 10 cents. 10 cents a click. So I wanted to be in line with real traffic, because it's going to come through as real. All right, so you got my money. Regarding Schema, everybody talks about how it needs to be done manually. But if someone is doing, let's say, local mass page website, maybe it's 100 location pages. Which plugin would you use? I'd use SEO Press. Also, if I have a big site, yes, manual is fine. See, a lot of the work needs to be done on the homepage, and then a lot of the work needs to be done on your top level service pages. See, I wouldn't go out of my way on all the information, and I wouldn't go out of my way on all the individual location pages, because I could signify a lot of the schema that I actually need on those top level pages, right? So for instance, if it's website.com/personal injury lawyer, or /truck accident lawyer, or /car accident lawyer, and then you do / your cities, I'm taking care of a lot of the schema work on that top level page, like car accident lawyer, not / car accident lawyer Houston, for instance. Okay. So if I was going to use WordPress, and I were to, but I wouldn't, do a mass page website, I'd use SEO Press, because then I have the ability to get all the basics out of the way, and I get the added benefit of multiple sites for one low price. It's cheap, and I get the ability to add custom schema if I need to. So there's a lot of pluses to that plugin. I don't have any link or I have no skin in the game. It doesn't matter, but that's the one that we like. Okay. And Randy, hello again to you, sir. Julia, thank you for joining. And the question here is, how to find best content angles to bring traffic to fractional real estate investment app platform. First-time freelance blogger. Write agency press release blogs overwhelmed. Okay. Julia, what you will find from, let's just say it's the press release. I've ran multiple tests on that. I offer a press release. A press release, in my opinion, on a general level, it's not for traffic. It's for links, right? Because the amount of people, like, they have too many pages on those sites. Like, yes, I get some link equity, and yes, I get a lift. So I just want to clarify that. Press releases aren't going to drive you the traffic that you think. I've never seen them. And I've worked with law firms that I've used, they have niche specific over there on Globe, or they have niche specific press releases that are like $900. Like the really, really good ones, the crazy ones, like they don't do it either. Like, yes, you get really good links, but you don't get crazy traffic. Okay, so I've hammered that home. Here's the next element. I've worked with app companies, or not app companies, but essentially it's an app, right? And what I quickly found is you're looking for opportunity keywords, questions that are related or even loosely related to the app and or idea. See, the traffic, like, you know what the main keyword is, and you know what the main idea is. Like you said, it's real estate, fractional real estate investment. I'm sure that has a lot of traffic, but not as many as questions, right? So how can this help you? Answer as many questions that are opportunity questions. And what do I mean by this? Like, how can I get started? Why would I want to get started? Like, what's the actual, like, how much would I make if I invested $1,000 today? It's endless. And here's the other piece. Produce content rapidly, but not with AI. So it sounds to me like you're no longer an app. You're a marketing agency, right? Because you need to be able to create content at scale without AI that's good, that's actually helpful, and on top of that, it needs to be tuned enough to where I can compete. And it's in the financial space, which makes it, there's a level of difficulty that tells me that there's going to need to be some link building in place. So first order of business, identify questions and opportunity keywords that are going to help answer the questions about your product. I would get at least 2 people that can write, right? At least 2. On top of that, you're going to need some high equity links. Press releases are a great place to start, right? Like I get a lot of links. I get a lot of them fast, but don't look at press release for traffic generation. It's highly unlikely unless you have something really, really cool, Also, another play is stories, web stories. And then 2, depending on the content, I would also really take a look at answering those questions in video format, because once I'm in video format, I have web stories, I have podcast, right? I have video, short content can be shared everywhere. You have a lot of opportunities that could be generated based off of video. I want to state that. So you need as many lures in the water as possible. I hope that helps you. All right, Rogue Drone. Rogue says, is there any concern with press releases skewing the backlink profile of the site, Or do the benefits outweigh that? Okay. Just like any backlink type, you cannot base your entire backlink strategy off of one type of link. One of the drawbacks to this is that, yes, it could skew your backlink profile. Definitely. Because those sites are probably not in the category that your site is. What do I mean by category? What I mean by category is when you're building referring domains to your site, these sites are classified by Google, because for ads, they classify websites, and they use the same classification that tools like Majestic, SEMrush, and Ahrefs use for sites. They got it from Google. That's why they use it. And this is called a link graph. Votes from sites is what your site is actually about. Okay? So with that being said, when I'm building links from press release assets or press release sites, these are all different types of sites, right? Like you would think they're news, but who knows has been building links to MarketWatch? Like you would think it's just going to be economy, but I would venture to guess that it's news, arts and entertainment. Who knows? Who knows? I digress. So could it skew you? Yes, if you only utilize those types. On top of that, those particular links, a lot of them are no follow. Yes, they're authoritative, and yes, they help build brand, but we need to diversify our links. All right. Moving on. Here, give me 1 second. I need some water. Okay. I have a cough drop in, but please stick with me. I'll answer everybody's questions. I'll stay extra time. I really, really enjoy this. Just stick with me, okay? I just need to fill up my jug. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Thank you for waiting. Note, on Thursday is I call this the mastermind day. So, at 12 noon, we begin the other mastermind testing group coaching and consulting, and I teach the new trainings. And now we're doing YouTube. So, I'm just standing here actively. Like I didn't set up and then start this, just so you know. That's why I have to run off quick. So sorry about that. All right. See, it feels better. All right, Rogue. Is there any, okay, so we talked about that. Local Business Marketing 229. How do we join the mastermind? I just logged on. I'm not sure which mastermind you're after. Regular mastermind is SEOmastermind.org. On SEOmastermind.org, I'm going to put a link to the YouTube mastermind, okay? Or group coaching or setting. With that being said, if you're just interested in YouTube or this group, if you go to YouTube, I'm going to put it in the chat quick. All right. If we go here. Okay. Here, if you go to this URL, put it in the chat. And then, oh, you saw me do it. Go to the channel and then hit join. All right. Then you'll have options. See, these I'm broadcasting completely live, but, you know, depending on when I get to enough people, I'll stop doing these live like to everybody. All right. It'll just be private. So that way we can get into a lot more stuff. All right. I enjoy these hot seats and that's great. But, as time progresses, I want it to be structured, or it can be. I'll do whatever you guys want. You know, it's your time. So, let's keep going here. Or whatever you want, I should say. All right. Let me just see here. All right, so local business marketing. I put the link in the chat. Go on there and hit join. Okay. Trevor says, awesome. Haha, I was like, why am I not hearing him? Your voice is gone, bro. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, but I know, but this is one of my job tasks, right? But I enjoy this one. You know, like the mastermind is super fun. And plus I feel great. It's just my voice, you know, so I wouldn't miss this. I don't miss. You can ask my mastermind members. Like I said, I'm going to be here. I think I've missed 2 sessions in 3 years. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't mess around. All right. How do we join? Haha. Okay. Awesome. Trevor, thank you. Impex Auto. Do you offer a service whereby I can pay you to set up X-Ranker and other tools? No. I don't do that. You know, the vast majority of, I work, 100% of my clients, they're business owners. They're not looking to do this type of thing. So the services that I provide are geared towards helping business owners achieve search rankings, whether that's on maps, whether that's organic, and within weeks, it's also going to be paid ads. You'll start seeing a lot more content out of me about ads because I've been spending some serious time building up the ads account and understanding the process to where I could start teaching it. I mean, if you go back in the mastermind where I'm learning it, like it's been 8 months, and then also like investing, utilizing my own money, wasting money, figuring things out. Like I feel comfortable now to start teaching it and also start offering it as a service. So in the coming weeks, you know, I'll be able to teach my guys, and then I'll teach you, and then I'll offer it as a service. That's how I do it. Anyway, if you were working full time, okay, I do. But I know what you mean. Working full time and had to have a client. Oh, I see. So you have like a non-marketing job, right? And have a client on the side to make ends meet. Understood. What would you do to get one fast? So if you were working full time and had to have a client on the side to make ends meet, what would you do to get one fast? That's, I don't, hey, we're in a mastermind, we're in a private setting, right? Technically. So like my stance on that kind of thing is, if you're in that type of predicament, right? That means that you're not going to provide the service because I need that sounds like I need the dough, right? And I've been there. So like to get a client fast, clients never come when you're looking, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. Because then that's telling me too, like you haven't invested the time to have a tried and true process. You know, like if I wanted to get somebody fast, then I would create a very pretty, I see people do it all the time. They'll create a very pretty landing page, like a very gorgeous, user-friendly, simple landing page that looks really good, and they'll target a slew of keywords within Google Ads. So I would be looking for a client. I would create a gorgeous landing page. First and foremost, I'd pay somebody the $200, $300 to create a really good page, like a very nice page that looks cosmetically appealing. And I would pump Google traffic to it, paid traffic. That would be the fastest way to success, because then they're actively actually looking for you. And that would be the way to do it. But it has to be convincing and look very, very pretty in order to be able to convert cold leads from organic, without building a relationship first. It's a different game. And on top of that, costs need to be low. Like what you think you can charge, or what you think, or what you feel you should charge, is far different than what the market will actually pay you. So be mindful of that as well. Hopefully that helps you. Also, here's some other tips. I would also I would go to Reddit. I'd go to Reddit. I've had not massive, but very good success grabbing clients off of Reddit, but not organic. Paid organic ads in order to push much cheaper traffic to that really pretty landing page. A landing page where the only thing to do is make a call. You have to be willing to make that take that call. Cash objections, because they're going to have a trillion questions. These aren't necessarily questions. These are, objections. So there you go. Hopefully it helps you out. Let's celebrate. Ooh, I'm going to celebrate. Thank you. All right. Only Natural Designs. Hello, Chris. I own a medium-sized business and need to do more off-page. What do you suggest is a good strategy? My site is only 2 months old and is in the home services niche. And do you offer links? Okay. Let me read that one more time. What do you suggest is a good strategy? My site is only 2 months old. All right. Medium-sized. Okay, home service. All right. So this is what I would focus on. I would pick a specific category, right? Like you do home services, you probably do a lot of stuff. Kitchen, bathroom, construction, wardrobe builds. I see this mistake a lot. You probably offer all types of stuff, right? But if I need to find success in a relatively short period of time, and I have a budget that I need to stick with, then that means we need to pick a specific category or a category set. So top level page, whatever the service is, in a very specific area or multiple areas, but only for one service. And I would allocate more time and slightly some more budget towards the on page and internal linking of that page. Also, on top of that, I would get at least 1, maybe 2 supporting pieces of content in order to increase internal links up to those pages. Then I would move into those backlinks. But if I'm going to do off page, I would be hyper deliberate on a specific service in a specific area, right? So that's where I would allocate these links towards. But you'll save so much money if you can get the on page right, the internal linking right. Like if you're looking at your website right now and your homepage has a keyword on it, you need on-page optimization. Like if your homepage is geared towards a primary term or a primary service that you have a service page for, I would definitely take a look at OnPage. If you have a homepage link, a picture, and the word home on your homepage and site-wide, I would definitely take a look at OnPage, right? These are some key factors. Like when I see these things on sites, I know, okay, wait a minute, we better go look at OnPage first. But I think everybody should look at OnPage first because you save so much money on the back end. But now, well, let's get to the heart of the question. Well, but what links though, Chris, right? Where I would focus on links is let's take care of the essentials. Maybe you've done them, maybe you haven't. But if we're doing local, then we need to make sure that we've already built our citations, all the top places. Also, the search engines that allow you to submit, right? Definitely go to submit to Bing because a lot of other search engines use Bing. And it's not about a traffic thing. It's about claiming the entity, okay? So get on all the search engines. Do your citations, like all of them, the 70 or 80 that are double verify, the good ones. On top of that, let's go and do data aggregation submission after we do our initial citations. And then let's get listed on all the directories we possibly can. And then let's start looking for category-specific directories. And then pick a paid citation source or a paid directory source that shows up in a vast majority of your SERPs. Oftentimes, it's a Yelp, right? And then I would get on that top 10 list because usually they make a top 10 list and they show up all over for the services you provide. It not only helps claim the entity and help with rankings, it's wild, it's crazy. It's people that are seeing you on Yelp, they're searching. It's a good thing. I wouldn't pay them every month. I would pay the initial $270 and then stop for 60 days and then pay them the $270 because you'll stick on the list for 2 months because then the next month I'll be calling you back and then on the third month you get back on it. It works very well. Citations directory, niche specific, do one paid, and then I would allocate some budget towards guest posting. That's it. And if you have the funds for your category, that top level page, like if we have enough budget to do this, I would make sure that we're allocating some budget towards, there's a lot of press releases out there, but more towards the premium side. Like premium meaning you get a lot of links, you know, and build it to that top level. That's what I would start with. But hopefully that helps. We'll keep going here. Okay. Press releases. I found Rank Math SEO plugin for automatically sending blog articles to Google News and removing it 2 days later as per their requirements. My thoughts. I'm not a fan. I don't know if you're asking me about Google News or Rank Math, so I'll just address them both. I personally I'm not a fan of Rank Math. I don't like how they structure stuff. I'm just not a fan of it. I like SEO Press. So that's that. But I don't think it's a tool specific thing as far as like getting denied out of Google News. I think it's a Google thing. They just do whatever they want, right? But as far as Google News is concerned, see, the problem there is you're in a category or niche where your audience is looking in the news section and it can drive either a lot of traffic or it's not going to do diddly. In the vast majority of cases, it's not going to do diddly. So I would steer clear out of there unless you're seeing your niche and your services a lot in news. All right, like, is it a lot? And then go and check the websites, the sites that are showing up in there that are putting in the work and the effort and producing the content, do the site maps, and they're doing all the work. Not that it's a lot of work, but it's still extra work. Go and check their sites. Are they getting spikes of traffic? Are they getting flushes? The pages that are showing up or the articles that are there, is it producing for them? Or are they kind of flatline? And that's how I would make my decision. All right, so hopefully that helps you out. But I think I addressed both things. Hopefully that helps. All right, Miss Waterbury, and I apologize. By next week, hopefully I'm all rested up. And I'll try not to carry on so much. But it was our first day. It was beautiful here. It's been freezing out. It was like the first day you could go outside in shorts and a t-shirt and just like play. So, I got it in with the kids, We had a good time. So Miss Waterbury, Chris, I have canceled all subscriptions except for your group. It's exceptional. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Waterbury. I truly appreciate that. Thank you. I honestly am here to help. But Iron Fighter, hello Chris. Hello to you, my friend. EL, thank you, Chris. US Works 2. I'll find it on the store. Yes. And it's super easy. Just go right to the homepage. And down in the bottom on chrispalmer.org, I list all this. From other sites and other projects I've had, I've realized it does make it as simple and easy as possible. And that's what I made sure I did this time, right? So it'll take you right to a screen. You don't even have to sign into your account in order to put the order through. I made it so seamless, zero friction. Hopefully that helps you, EL Dell. Iron Fighter, Iranian Fighter, sorry. I have a question, Chris. I have a page which is indexed, but it's not on the SERP. What should I do? I updated the page, but it still doesn't show up. Okay. All right, so you have a page that's indexed. It's in the 100, but it's not ranking, right? So this oftentimes is, yes, it is a page problem, but it's probably a site overall problem. And here's what I mean by that. Oftentimes when I see this, when you're in the runnings, we're going to talk about that page later, but oftentimes it's going to be in a market that is dominated or has players that have been there a long time, or they have a lot of referrings. So this tells me that maybe your overall site authority isn't there. Maybe you have a newer website. Maybe you don't have any supporting pieces on that site that are pointing to that page, right? No internal links pointing to it. And one or two from another article isn't enough. We need to be able to look inside of Search Console. And when you look at your top pages by links, internal links, the pages that we're trying to rank need to be at the top of that list. You need to be able to tell a robot that this is an important page if it is, right? And how you convey that is with structure and internal links, okay? Also, too, your overall authority matters. And the thing that a lot of business owners run into is the thing that we can't hurry up is page age. Page age is a factor. How long has that page been in the SERP? Big issue. Okay. Now when we're looking at the on page, right? I have spoken to quite a few business owners where they're like, Chris, I have done the work. I've done a really good job here. I would be very, 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 just be honest with yourself. Go to that page, look at the top performer or the top 3. Just make sure, am I within range? Do I have a within range word count? I should have 15 to 2,500 words. Do you have that? I should have 10 to 30 headers. Do you have that? I should have, half of my headers optimized. Do you have that? My density for my primary terms needs to be X. Do you have that? Like, go through the process. Make sure that you're mirrored. All right. Also, look at that SERP. Like, is Google rewarding how-to and information, or are they rewarding high commercial intent? Also, is that SERP dominated by home pages, or are they inner pages? Makes a difference. So I hope that helps you. I wonder if I'm starting to get sick even because of the weather changing. I don't know. So I feel a little congested too, actually. But I feel fine. Who knows? Anyway, you got my money. I have your money. No. So, thank you for the info. I appreciate you still doing this live stream, even though your voice is almost out. I hope you feel better. Yes. Yes, sir. Thank you. Me too. Hello, Chris. Stay well. Nick G, you as well. Only natural designs. What WordPress plugins do you like to use? SEO Press? What else? And when do you use static pages instead of WordPress sites? Good questions. All right. The WordPress plugin stack is very, very simple, right? The ones that I really like to utilize are going to be WP Rocket. Like, I could give you the exact formula, right? I'm going to lower the tone just a tad here, okay? Hopefully you guys can still hear. Guys and gals, everyone, you can hear me. If I need to crank up the gain, just let me know, because I can make it sound really loud. Okay, plugins. SEO Press, WP Rocket, Wicked folders, SEO Press, WP Rocket, Wicked folders, CSV bulk uploader, Jot forms, what converts, yeah, Wicked folders. What's the category? Oh, bulk menu creator paid. And the web stories plugin. I mean, there's not many. That's it. That's it. When we're talking about builders, there's only 3, 4 that I like as of today. Maybe 5. Cadence, right? Breakdance, Oxygen, and Bricks. That's it. The other ones I've utilized, either there's not enough customization, or they're so bloated and slow that I don't even want to touch them, you know? Or if my team just hates them. Like, if my brother hates it, then that means I can't teach him to teach a new team member, you know? And that's a problem. If he hates it, it's not going to make it anywhere else, you know? So that's an issue. Only natural designs. So hopefully that helps you. But Wicked folders, bulk menu creator paid, and that CSV uploader will change your life. I promise. Like, once you start, especially when you're building out these big sites. And then, okay, static pages. So we like to use Bootstrap, HTML and Bootstrap 5, right? We primarily do these particular types of sites when we're hosting PBNs, right? Because I need a primary server hub that I'm going to host all of the information, and there's only so much space. And then we're going to utilize one of, Google's load balancer, right? CDN, same thing. CloudFront, Cloudflare, Akimi we have. That's about it. I don't go for like the bunnies and all that stuff. Like I only want top tier. If I'm gonna hide in plain sight, then I want to hide in plain sight with top tier. Hopefully that helps. All right, let's keep going. ZA. Yes, I got some. I have some. Thank you. Good to see you. The last vid for adding products to location-based services in GBP was Gold Nugget Buddy. Thank you. Glad to help you. Johnny Walker here. What's up, Johnny? Chris, have you found a better alternative for Duda and WP? I mean, I like, how are you with, here's a cool one. If you, let's just say that you're not super tech savvy. Like, you know, CSS, I don't know, but there's a lot of frameworks that make it easy, right? But let's say you just want to launch pages, have a dashboard, and it's fun. Maybe go and take a look at a friend of mine. I can't, man, his name just slipped my mind, but it's called Zista with a Z. Go try that out. Now you can launch static, and you know, there's static pages, or you know, static and CSS. You can do custom. You can upload the WordPress if you wanted to, but you're doing static pages. But is there any other content management? Like the only other one, like Zista's cool. That's a content management system. You know, but no, I really like Drupal's easy. Drupal's easy. I think you'll like Drupal. So that's pretty much it, though. You know, WordPress is at the top for a massive reason. Because of the community, because of all the customization, because it's easy, it's free. Like WordPress is widely used for a good reason. I think it's what do they say? 62% of the websites that are found on Google are WordPress. And then the rest, a huge majority of the rest are CSS and HTML. So that's wild. Now there's a lot of platforms coming out that are these headless browsers. And yes, they're fast, but don't get caught in that trap. You know, what they're doing is they're creating a custom builder like Duda did, and then putting it on top of their servers. You know? So like you're stuck with them. Just like Webflow, like you're stuck with them. Like, yeah, you got a sick builder, but now I'm stuck on your servers. You know? It's like, geez, I want the customization. I want to choose my server. I don't want to pay you $34 a month for hosting. Like, you built the tool one time and now I have to pay monthly. Like, geez, that's not fair. Not when I could go get a server from Google for $8 a month. Well, an instance. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, let's move on. Chris, angry with Duda's pricing structure and WP is awful. Not, yeah, no, I turned off the cursing. All right, so I covered it. Yeah, Duda has changed over time, my friend. But I was rooting for them for a while. But KR, what is the most powerful links you can say that move the needle right now? Well, I can't, naming sites is tough, but anything that's done through outreach on an authoritative website is going to move the needle right now, right? Like, gone are the days of these cloud links. Gone are the days of moving sites up with Web 2. Like, yes, you can add that to your backlink profile, and yes, it can help you, and yes, it changes anchor text diversity, and yes, it will help push. It makes for a diverse profile. But like creating a Web 2 link wheel, those days are over. You know what I'm saying? Going out and firing up RankerX or these tools and actually getting success, it's all over. It's over. So it's a mixture of these links. and link types, inserts, press releases, maybe a little bit of automated for tiering, your citations, directories. It's a mixture. You know, that being diverse is what's working now. All right. So just like even on page, diversity of factors. You know, I don't know if you know who Ted Kabitis is. He has a show. If you like my stuff, I think you'll really like his stuff, because I really enjoy. Ted knows what he's talking about. I don't watch too many people, but when I do have time, he's one of the people I'll go and watch. Right? Him, Kyle, Clint got some good stuff. But anyway, he has a tool called Quora. The long story short of it is he tests factors, and he has a larger data set than you and I. Like, yeah, I manage 62 sites, right? Plus we have a large project that's over 40 sites that's just in the real estate space. So yeah, I probably see more sites than a lot of people, but I don't have access to hundreds of data points. You know what I'm saying? Where I can look and analyze data like that. But what I'm saying is Ted does get to see that. He has the tool that does that for a lot of people. And one of the factors that always ranks very high when he's looking at all the data is that diversity of factors is the biggest factor that there is. The utilization of factors. Like, hey, do you have a keyword in your title? That's a factor. Hey, have you built backlinks? Yes. All right, right? Each thing that you do is a factor. So I just want to point that out. Okay, hopefully that helps. So as far as the links is concerned, you need diversity. That's all I'm getting at. Sorry. Long-winded answer. I'll try to stop doing that. You got my money. I love that name. You get me with that every time. I'm like, oh, what's that say? You got my money. And I'm like, I like that. Anyway, see, kind of like I watched this. I don't watch. I bought all his books. I can't lie. I like Grant Cardone's books out, right? You guys might know who he is. I enjoy his books, and I bought them all. But that's like his saying, like, who's got my money? I'm like, that's kind of clever. Do you have any recommendations or feedback on tools for Schema, not WordPress plugins, but tools like Schema Writer? All right, my friend, I would highly recommend the best writer that I have found for creating custom code is OpenAI. OpenAI, Google Bard, now Gemini, write the best schema I've ever seen. But you need to give it the data points. So here's what to do. And once you create your template, you have it forever, right? So like, why would I pay? Hey, you can do whatever you want. And maybe they might have some easier way to do it. But once you create your template, you're done. So what do I mean by a template? A template means what are the data points that I have to feed it in order for it to write it correctly. So what you do is you go over to schema.org. And on schema.org, they have a thing called a hierarchy, right? So that means at the very top, you need to name the web page. Next, you need to be able to write, well, what kind of page is it? Is it an article or a blog? The next thing is, well, what's the entity? Who are you? Are you a business? Are you an organization? Okay, great. Right? This is called hierarchy. So step one is get the hierarchy. How should the schema be laid out? Like there is a proper order to writing schema, right? I want to feed it the best optimal. So get the hierarchy of what you need. Here's what's also great about schema.org. Most businesses, if you go to schema.org on search and say, okay, I'm a personal injury lawyer, it will not only give you the hierarchy, it'll give you the exact schemas that should be there and in what order. Get that hierarchy and then figure out when you're looking down the list, it'll tell you each. Wait, I forgot I'm doing this. Here, look at. here's a big tip for today. Check this out. Oh, you can see my screen already. Here, let me address my puppy. I'm going to show you something. This will be maybe valuable. Maybe you know this, maybe you don't. But if you're looking for a tool that'll do it, but it's a tool that doesn't technically do it, I'll show you the easiest. This is what we do. This is what I do. So give me 1 second. Go ahead. Sorry. I brought my pupper in here today. I always bring him on Mastermind Day. My house is across the street. My office is right here. I walk him over every day. Anyway, here's what I do. Where were we? Oh, understanding what you need. So here, check this out. So you just come over here to schema.org. Okay. I've used this example before, but I didn't go this far in depth because, well, you know, process is different, you know, than showing a concept overview, right? This is the how-to. I generally in videos give concept overview. Here's what we do, you know, an idea of. Anyway, so here you would come in here. Personal injury lawyer. Let's just say, my mistake. Let's just say you're an attorney. See, if you come in here, I don't know who that is, but if you come in here, all right. So I just want to point this out. See these ones that say text? Now you can make a decision if you want to include those particular types. But you can come down and you can see that, hey, if you're an attorney, I should be naming these things. Right? There's our hierarchy. Also, I want to point this out here. Check this out. I don't want to get too far gone, but here, let me show you something here. Let me just see if I can remember where it is on this website. I probably spelled that. Did I get that right? Wow. My spelling is, dude, I'm so amazing. Full hierarchy, H-I-E-R. Wow, I got that right. You may or may not know I'm not the best speller. I never won a spelling bee ever, but I have won SEO contests. All right. Luckily for me, Google can't read. So anyway, this is called a hierarchy. So I want to point this out. I'm gonna show you where to go so you can understand this better. This is hierarchy of a page. Now, some things don't apply to you, but you're doing schema markup for your web page. And then you're a web page. You're an organization, right? You also are a business, right? Your hours are this. Like, build your hierarchy based on the hierarchy that makes sense. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Now, when you're looking at specific types, anything that says text means that you can actually put text. Makes sense, right? But when you're making your template to go over to, say, Gemini or Bard or OpenAI, you can say, all right, I need here, let me just go back over here. I'll wrap this up so I can get to the rest of the questions. I need attorney, legal, local business, organization. Okay. So I have organizational schema. So we're going to go to organization. The things that say text right here, text. So it might be good to put awards. But also you can scroll down and they're going to give you a sample. Better yet, if you go to Google, on Google's website, on the Search Central, if you look up schema markup, it'll tell you the exact ones that they want to see. They give you the hierarchy there too, because schema.org's requirements and or qualifications, whatever you want to call them, like what they want to see is different than what Google wants to see. And we only care what Google wants. But oftentimes I do all of it that's here. Okay. Anyway, figure out what the hierarchy is. Get the types that you need based on your page. Check, check. The next thing is inside of there, in the specific types, you need requirements like an award, your phone number, your address, your longitude and latitude. Get all those pieces. And then you go over to Google Bard or OpenAI and say, hey, I need you to create local business schema that includes this phone number, award, boom, 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 boom. And here's the information to use. My business name is this, my phone number is this, and it'll make it for you. Job done. And once you make your template once, you never have to do it again. You know what I'm saying? Like most pages are pretty much the same. Some of them you might have to take out certain things, and oftentimes you'll have to change the images, but they always use the same logos on the website. You're always going to need your phone number. I hope that makes sense to you. So here's the hierarchy. Here's how you find the business, and going over and getting it written it's so easy. You just ask it to do it. I think OpenAI, I pay them like $20. And they do a lot of our schema. It's just easier than hand coding. It's such a pain. And then these, like the technical SEO or like getting your basic stuff is cool. But there's a lot of little types that are accepted by Google and on schema.org that the generators don't do, right? But OpenAI and Gemini will. All right, so I digress off of this topic, but I wanted to point that out for you, okay? Because you asked, hey, other than these plugins, how can I get in here and do this? So hopefully that helps. Okay, so paid citation sources. All right, so here, other than Yelp, garage door. What are you doing? I don't know what city you're in, right? But take a look down the list. Okay, so here's two. I've never paid Angie's, but I would assume you can pay Angie's. I always get on the Yelp list or recommend getting on the Yelp list. I mean, it's $270. Like, it's inexpensive. You always show up, and then you're marked on one of the most powerful platforms. Like Yelp always shows up and is always in SERPs because Google trusts them. They're very authoritative, right? But all I did here is I'm looking for a garage door company, garage door repair. Where are citation sources showing up on your keyword or any keyword variation? Like you can't just put one keyword in. It's your keyword variations too. Does a citation source show up? Yay or nay? Does that citation source take money for placement? Yay or nay? And that's how you find them. Most of the time, yes, it's going to be Yelp. A lot of times, sometimes you might find someone else like Easy Local. You know, different SERPs are different, but these guys will always crush. It's 270 doll hairs. Like, it's worth it. You'll get business. You will get business. Some people, like, an average job for what a locksmith is, what, 150, 200 bucks? Basically with one, like I guarantee you'll get one job with that for your 270. Like, no way, like guaranteed. Anyway, hopefully that helps. Do these guys sell? That's actually a good question. Join our pro network. Are these guys selling? Well, they have a top 10 best list. They have to. They have to. Where are they selling at? I've never personally seeked out to get on this particular list, but if it's here, I'm sure you can buy, right? Maybe you have to sign up first, get your company on there, and then they proposition. They don't proposition out in the open. You probably have to sign up, and then somebody reaches out to you, and they probably, it's not that they're selling links or selling ad placement or, it's probably done in a very fun way, kind of like the Better Business Bureau, right? It's probably that's another good one. Paid citation, Better Business Bureau. That's paid, right? So hopefully that helps you out. Thank you for answering. Okay. AY, all right. There you go. Lee Witcher, SEO Fight Club, solid. There you go. No dispute in that. Absolutely. I don't even mind promoting those guys. I like them that much. You know what I mean? Thanks for soldiering on. Okay, yes. I thought it said soldering. I'm like, wait, I never soldered anything in my life. A couple of my buddies bust my chops, because I'm not the handiest guy in the world. I'll oftentimes call buddies of mine to help me with certain little tasks, Anyway, well, cars I'm good with. I don't know, but I don't like messing with them that much. Anyway, just some more insights about me since we're in a mastermind now together. Right? Z8. Dude, I haven't seen you in a long time. He is just like ripping in here. Having huge consistent results with Trustpilot. Oh, I see. You're giving up. There you go. He's giving up ideas. Makes sense. SEO Fight Club. Love it. Hey, Chris. Thanks for soldiering on. Hope you. I was looking at your Google Entity Drive Stack training. I noticed it's 2020. That's right. That's right. I redid it in 2021. Still relevant. If you are a single location, single area business, a one-pager that has maps, right? Not recommended, but let's just say that's what you're doing. Yes, building out an entity stack can be helpful for you, but I wouldn't do it in that way anymore because there's software, right? Plus, it's becoming harder to have those older accounts. So would I tell a business owner to take the time to do that? I wouldn't, but it's good to know. But I don't set those up for clients anymore. I just don't. You know what I mean? Now, when we have lead gen operations that are one location, like one service on the homepage, they only do one thing in one area, we set up a stack. And I have a Google folder with well over 100 of these. It's very helpful for maps. Now, I've seen some really absurd things with people doing stacks. Like, that is just totally massively unneeded. Like, all that time and all that effort, they've been devalued so much. Like, let's just COL, I would steer clear. All right. Now, because also too, I could pay a guy on Fiverr to go set it up using Stack SEO for what, $40? And you're just looking to get the basic stuff in there, just the basics. That's it. So hopefully that helps you. Chris, do you have agency for CTR? I remember in a previous video you said you used them, but manage the campaign. What do you mean by manage? Chris, do you use Oh yeah, I work with Ian. So okay, there's maps, and then there is website. So for maps, see where I have an advantage is if I'm managing the campaign, most people when they go and see Ian or use that specific tool, they'll get 1 seat per campaign. I allocate multiple seats because I buy so many. On top of that, yes, I have to pick keywords. I have to adjust traffic. Yes, I have to manage it. That's right. Make sure that it's still running, making sure that there's no problems, adding and taking away, picking the location. Pretty much. That's pretty much it. It's so fun. But also on top of that, when we're running CTR for maps, something that tool's not doing is running impressions. So we manage that as well. So we're running dual seats per campaign. On top of that, we're running impressions and we're taking care of the keywords. That's the fun part. So what else was in that question? Yeah, pick keywords, expand and contract proximity, run impressions, double seed it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll get a base set of keywords from the client. Like what they're not able to do is spend most clients, because they have, my business is the SEO, their business is whatever they're doing. So I'm able to offer them a really good service for lower, because if they had to allocate 2 seats, they're not going to be able to get it for what I can get it for because I have a lot of seats. On top of that, I also have tools and servers in order to be able to run impressions, right? So that it's a fun service. We offer that for quite a lot of clients, and they're pretty happy, Alex. I think, don't you run with us actually? But in any case, thank you for your question. And KR, is exact match domain still effective for ranking? Also, do you recommend using cloud stacking links? Is exact match domain effective? And do you recommend using cloud stacking links? Okay, exact match can be, depending on the SERP. And cloud stacking is no longer in our process. And the reason is because it's domain, not page rank, or however you want to look at it. Let's say we're using Moz's metrics. There's DA and there's PA. Domain authority, which is the overall power, and PA, which is the page's power. See, the problem with clouds is that the DA is really high, but in all actuality, there's actually no power. So that means I have to apply power. And if I'm going to go through all that work of setup, management, content, building secondary links, and tiering, why wouldn't I just allocate that time, resource, and budget towards a guest post? Less work, less time, less effort, and oftentimes a better result. So I don't recommend cloud stacking unless that's your only option. And no, you can't stack a bunch of clouds together and get a result. At least I wasn't able to in 2023, 2024, right? Like maybe at the beginning, like 2021, probably till the mid of 2022, 23, like when they started coming out with updates for AI, and AI started becoming more popular and they started understanding words, and links got devalued and it just became a little bit more difficult. I would say in the mid of 2022, SEO changed drastically, right? Just processes have changed over time. So that's my stance on that. Thank goodness for spell check. Yes, I agree. I agree. Caught me, Dune. Carlos, my guy, what's up, brother? Good to see you. I use Google Sites. Will it help with SEO if I add slides, docs, maps, and other Google services? If that's what you're utilizing, yes. It's good. Even if, let's take Google Sites out of the equation. Is it good and helpful? I like that word nowadays. Is it good for the end user to have multiple medias within a page? Is it also good to mark up the page? Is it good to have a video? Is it good to have a list, an unordered list? Is it good to have maybe a PDF or extra information about a subject? Of course it is. So let's bring it back to Google Sites. It's already built in to the system, right? So adding a custom domain to Google Sites and utilizing the system that's built in is very helpful, for sure. Because that's what you would do if you weren't on Google Sites anyway. Adding video, maybe have a little playlist of your podcasts, perhaps some extra media about a topic to expand more in maybe a PDF format, right? You might even have a presentation in there, right? It could be video presentation. It could be, what's it called? Power, I can't think of the name of it, but you get the point. Any thoughts on, okay. My page has more words and images, videos, headings than any competitors. This Iranian fighter. That could be a problem. See, just like to piggyback off of the last question when we're talking about multimedia, I still need to match and mirror what Google is looking for. Like, is that what the SERP is calling for? You know, more is not always better, but having the right factors on the page is. You know, if the top 10 performers have a video, it's good to have a video. If the top 10 performers link to at least one external source, then it's good to link to an external source. If the top 10 competitors on average have 20 headers, it's good to have 20 headers. So we don't want to go too crazy and be the outlier, because oftentimes that, you know, your success rate gets lower. I call it the hit rate. Like, no SEO I know ranks 100% of the time. Like, top 5. I don't care who it is and how good they are. They don't hit 100% of the time. But the better you are, the higher percent chance that you are going to hit, right? Because you have a winning process. With that being said, I want to make sure that I have a much higher success rate when I'm mirroring what is currently working, right? And going over, I try not to do. And I try to match the intent. So let's get back to this question. And yes, my page is at least 6 months old. Before it was ranking and had an issue, and I fixed it and didn't rank. It was good with intern links too. Okay. Not, unfortunately. Sometimes Google won't like that page. Sometimes if you change the intent of the page, rewrite the page, change the URL, relaunch, sometimes you find better success. Also, if there was a penalty, or I don't know what the problem was with the page, but if there was some type of action or issue, it never regains its past glory. So I would take that into consideration. Please provide thoughts about the core update. We talked about this in the group. So they're giving content actions. They're giving manual actions based on content. I've personally never lived through that. yet. So I made a video about this. I can only speak on sites that I've worked on, right? That I've had an issue, a notable issue, a significant drop in traffic, and then we were able to recover that traffic by working our process, planning the work and working the plan. So with that being said, well, what did we do? Well, one of the major things that we did was eradicate anything that didn't have value. And what I mean by no value is there any links or any traffic? We completely removed it from the site. We refreshened the pages that we had. We interlinked the pages that we had, and we freshened the content up, or changed the total intent of the content, or took down the page and relaunched it like new. I mean, I assume that you do SEO. There was a lot more than that. Like there was a lot. Once we get private, I'll show some of them. But my thoughts on that new update is there's a lot of work to do. You know, I'm just recanting in my mind a lot of the factors that we did. Like there was a lot of work and effort there, and there was a lot of time and a lot of dollars spent. But a big one that I can say was cleaning up a lot of the deadwood. So that's my main thoughts. It's content related. There's absolutely no question. I'm seeing people getting manual actions for content, which is madness to me, not algorithmic. And yes, once I get more cases under my belt and once we switch, if you bring this up again, I'll cover a live asset. I won't do that in public, but I will privately. All right. InMillion. So InMillion is something that I played with Carlos. And then as far as, here, wait a second. I played around with InMillion. See, when we were building out and finishing off our website tool for client stuff, well, and service-based, we messed around with InMillion in order to, I don't know, it was one of the top performing sellers on I forget what the marketplace is, but it was a top performing website bot. I wanted to see what the features were, so I played around with it, utilized it. Yeah, it's got merit. You know, it's not top shelf, right? But it's got merit, yes. You know, but you know, it always comes down to like what's the rest of your setup, you know? So yeah, it's cool to play with. But if you already have like CTR booster or something like that, that could be a good utilization of tool set. Madge, hey, good to see you, Madge. Iranian Fighter. Hey, Chris, do you provide free service, like analyzing my website? Yes. Let's take a look together. I have a half hour, and you're the last question in the list. Put your site in. Let's see it. Most notably, that page that you did everything, but it still won't rank. Let's take a look at that. And then also let me know, did you get a manual action? Please. And then, yes, that's a good point. We still have time, right? How did you get it to show up with my name, Mike? That's interesting. Chris, can you share how you run impressions for maps? I can. I definitely can. Absolutely. Chris, do you provide free service? Go ahead and get, if that's what you want, go ahead and pop that in. Or elaborate. What exactly does that mean? All right. Well, iRadiant Fighter, when you get your stuff, put it in, and I'll be happy to look at that for you. Elaborate. What does that mean? Brand, keyword, and location. Going into search. Like, if my name is Chris Palmer, that is an impression. More importantly, that is an impression. That is an impression. But 1,000 of them a day. And I only did 3. That's an impression. Also, things have changed, and what I'm about to share, the actual list is not a complimentary thing nor anything that I sell, but I will share it. We've changed things over the course of time, but I have no problem sharing the older one. Well, I'm not going to share it, but I'll let you see. So you can see what we're doing. This is a very old list, but it'll at least maybe help you out some. Here, hold up a second. Let me see if I can find one that's on my system, but I don't want to share everything. Hang on there, Alex. I don't mind helping you out some, though. I'll show an old sheet. I showed this sheet at a conference before. This is our old sheet, just so you know. Okay. Here. Here, there's even a test one in here. Here. Okay. So actually, no, I can't. I'm not going to show you that, but I will show you the finished piece. Show you something here. Here. This just has sample sets in it, just to make your life a little easier. Here, check this out. So this is what we'll utilize to run impressions. And display. All right, so here I just copied it from the sheet that we utilized. All right, so let's just say So here's a search. You're adding the words, and you're attaching and or appending a KGM ID. It's a set, but we've created within the Excel sheet or whatever you're using, a generator where we can add in the keywords and the variations in the LSIs in order to make hundreds of different variations. So we're looking to run these searches, which are going to give an impression to either your maps and or your website. Okay? Anytime that your item, maps or website, is seen, that's an impression. That's somebody looking for your asset. We can even get more specific when we're looking for a specific asset like this. Okay? This is interest in your business. And remember, Google is a website just like yours. If your website gets more interest, what happens? It's the same for a listing on Google. Right? If there's a billion assets, but this asset here is getting more activity, what happens? So that's what the impression is doing, right? And just impressions alone, like I've had other people test it by themselves, but you could test it for yourself. Get a tool, run some impressions. You'll enjoy it. So this right here is G and M. G code is machine readable entity ID. This is your G code. M code is a location ID. So if you're in a location and you want to push proximity, you're using an M code. This isn't a new concept. But if I'm running CTR utilizing manipulated strings, useless. If I'm running impressions with manipulated strings, that's interest, right? And this plays very well when I'm getting direct clicks to assets. Okay? This is a directional impression. This is people that are initiating these types of searches. We're talking about maps primarily here. So this is an impression. All right. And these are some of the different types of impressions that you can run. Directional impressions, G code or machine ID code, M machine ID code. M is for location. And then you have keyword and keyword set impressions, but we're always appending the business in order to cause the impression. This is massive interest on the business. So that coupled with actual CTR plus they're running actual ads. So we have manipulated, impression, paid, and organic working together in order to help this business achieve a higher result. Okay, so Alex, I hope that explains it a lot more with visual. Good question, by the way. Pack. My website's rank in increasing, however, it isn't reflecting on my Google business profile. Wait a minute, so my website's rank is increasing. However, it isn't reflecting on my Google business profile. The rank first seems to be getting lower. My website's rank is increasing. Okay, I mean, it's two separate projects. I was trying to understand what you were asking. Products. Maps and websites are two separate, entirely two different things. Okay? So your website could be improving in rank and your maps listing is dropping. That's not wildly, it's not very common. It's not always happening. And it's definitely something you should look into, but it's not a cause for concern because SERPs, rankings, something I notice with business owners is you're probably checking it every day. On top of that, you're probably seeing a daily change and then making a change. You have to stop. You have to deploy factors, on-page changes, build backlinks, push traffic, whatever the factor is, and give it time to respond. and don't check it every day. Also, if you see a continuous downtrend, then you made a mistake somewhere along the way. And then to end out this question, just because the website's ranking doesn't mean the map should. And just because maps is ranking or going up doesn't mean that my website should. Two separate products, two different algorithms. Yes, they complement each other, but not in a dramatic way. Julia, I didn't see. Julia, I don't see, question, keyword research. Oh, wow. So that was just a mistake. I noticed that there was a lot of questions, and when I saw Dune, I scrolled, and it must have just scrolled by. It wasn't a deliberate, I'm not like trying to miss them. I want to answer everyone's question. I want to help. I'm only here to help. You know, it's just a mistake. I must have just scrolled over it because Dune gave a bunch of feedback, and I must have just scrolled over it. So we talked about PR. SEO Mastermind is fantastic. Join the Mastermind. Green Lawn Augusta. Tell Alex to confirm our 4:30. Alex, I mean, I'm doing the Mastermind. 4:30 already passed, so okay. Content question. PAA box suggested queries in search field plus end of Google page from keyword research POV. Don't know how to find best relevant keywords people searching for. Okay. So Jolie, so we're in the keyword research phase, right? Ad spend keywords and keywords that are maybe creating dollars for you can be different than what organically will bring you traffic to make dollars, right? Because you're kind of on a tightrope, right? Because I need to be able to rank and get traffic, but I also need to make sales. See, when you're the keywords that you're running over on Google Ads, I would venture to guess, you're going right for the primary because you're automatically going to get traffic for it, and that is the best. But when you're doing organic, that's probably not the one that's going to come in right away. So with that being said, like, don't get discouraged, I guess is what I'm getting at here. PAA, people also ask is primarily questions and or for informational content. So this can be helpful, but usually you want to answer, I mean, that can be helpful, but I don't want to get into people also ask. That's Google taking traffic from us, because once you get your answer to your question, you don't visit the website. Like when you see those, how often do you go to the website? I already got my answer. I'm happy. I'm satisfied. I'm thrilled. I'm ecstatic. So with that being said, let's talk about keyword research for our business. It's generally it can be simple, not for everyone, but you know what services you provide, right? Those are keywords. Now, which variation, this is where getting a tool like Keywords Everywhere or a tool like SEMrush, what's a cheap tool? See, I just use SEMrush or Keywords Everywhere. Like there's probably a slew of tools out there at this point. Like I just use what I use and I enjoy that. But the basic premise here is, you know what services you provide? It's just finding which variation. Like, should I do plumber in Houston or plumber Houston or Houston plumber, right? It's finding the variation that carries the volume and is actually clickable. So with that being said, figure out what your services are and then figure out what the variation is that carries volume and is a good CPC. Okay, now let's talk about informational content. Informational content can be relatively simple if you're using SEMrush, because in SEMrush, there's a questions tab. So I could type in a primary keyword and then click questions, and it's going to give me questions. Also, if I go to SEMrush, I could type in a primary keyword and I could get related content, or I could get informational content, right? So now I can cover all the bases, but usually it's going to be high commercial intent, top level, and then who, what, when, why, where, how, and best of list if I'm in the local market. What do I mean by this? If I'm plumber Houston, right? That's my keyword. Because usually if I do Houston plumber, I'll get the same traffic. They rank the same. If I do plumber in Houston, sometimes that's more traffic. Sometimes it's less traffic, right? Now, when we're talking about info/information to support this topic, there's only 7 pieces really that need to be answered. Like who, what, when, why, where, how. Like, when should I hire a Houston plumber? Where do I hire a Houston plumber? How do I contact a plumber? Right? What does a plumber cost? Who, what, when, why, where, how. Oh, and best. Who's the best? I'm the best. Who, what, when, why, where, how, and best of. That's it. Those are really good informational pieces that rank and get traffic. I hope that clarifies, gives you some tool ideas, and it gives you some general premise. I'm losing steam here, okay? My throat's on fire. So I'm sorry for slowing down and my throat's burning. Okay, so we're we're having some fun here. I'm actually gonna have to go for a little ride when I get done here. What is the most, okay. Chris, have you found a better alternative? Okay. Okay, so I think I went through these. I don't know how I missed you. Dude, you sound horrible. I was hoping you weren't feeling awful. Yeah, no, I feel good. My throat just is on fire. Sorry. I know, Randy. I think I should be seeing you in Arizona coming up here. I haven't been I don't really leave that much. Chris is getting older, so I'll start doing it more just to mingle and have fun. But I'm going out to Arizona. Randy, hello, buddy. All right, so they're chatting. It was also 460 million sites. I think it was just mass brute force. Can you drop the link in chat, Chris? Link to what? I'm not sure what Drupal. I think you were asking. I think I answered that actually. I'm not been experimenting with which browsers show which reviews. iPhone show well reviews well. Google shows GDP reviews and Yelp reviews and Trustpilot reviews. That's right. All right, so we went through these. Hey, Chris, soldiering on. Carlos. Okay. And I think aren't you in my group? I can't see. I think we talk. I feel like we've talked before. All right. My website rank. Okay, good. All right, we're about to cut it. We're at the last 5 minutes. I'm going to answer the ones that are left. Thank you. Posting the other one. Hope you feel better. Thank you, Julia. Rank Dominion. Rank Dominion. Rank Dominion. It's been a while. I think we've chatted, right? Like, that name's ringing a bell. Good to see you. Hey, I have a website that was hacked. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. They added over 1,700 pages for casinos. I have removed the pages, but GSC is still showing 90 pages indexed. Any tips on what I should do? Okay. I would highly recommend it. Yes, but it's a list, right? And we're at the end here. But one of the best things to do, because you change servers, right? Generally, once people get in, they leave a way back in. So you can clean stuff up as a webmaster, but unless you go in and change servers and clean up everything, generally you may run into issues again. Maybe. I'm just saying. It will be in your best interest. I'm not sure what the business is or how well it does, or, if it's in budget. But if you have the $350 to invest in the business, I would highly recommend getting someone to comb through the site and do a technical cleanup. So go in, clean up all the errors, clean up the dead pages, submit all the outdated content, submit those dead pages to robots.txt, run the de-indexing API, resubmit the sitemap, and then just comb through your panel or Plex or whatever you're using and clean up everything. And really, man, unless you as the site owner change servers, that's what I would do. Clean up all the technical and go in there and comb through that server, because I promise there's another way back in. And these guys are patient. They're patient. They'll wait till everything's done. So be mindful. That's my best recommendation, sir. But yes, thank you. And then the last one is Skin MC. I have a weird question. Why do we worry about website SEO when we have Google Business Profile, which ranks highly? That's a great question. And the reason is because as time is progressing, Google has devalued a lot of the Google Business Profiles, definitely on desktop. They've implemented a pro list for maps. So some services have a pro list. They initiated the Google Guarantee. They added more ads to the pages, so that pushes down the results more. They've moved the pack sometimes to the second page, where previously it was on the first page, like, for instance, like for a truck accident lawyer, right? And then on top of that, you're right. Google Business Profiles rank highly, and that's one lure in the water. The objective here is to have as many lures, or increase your what is called EPC, like the probability of generating a click and maximizing the dollars from the clicks that we're getting, right? Like that's what we want to make sure of. We want to have the best probability of business success. So yes, that's a good asset, but it's only one. So that's why, because we're marketers, and that's what we do. like we want to win. We go after everything, right? So that's why. And yes, I went and changed. Okay, good. And that's all for me. Usually I would just keep going because I do have some free time, but I need. Again, I met with a client this morning. I met with a prospect. I held my testing group. I held my group consulting. We came here. I'm gonna take a small break. I didn't have a meal yet, so I'm gonna take some time. I will, as long as my voice isn't totally dead tomorrow. I'll be back here tomorrow. That's right. Because, it's like, I don't know who the famous person was that said it, but it's like, who did you help today? So, like, did you put out good karma, right? Did you do that today? One of my favorite things to do is come on, okay, make a video or do a stream, help somebody, do something, Chris. So I'll be back tomorrow. Definitely have work tomorrow. I'm gonna see my family, have something to eat. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'll see you next week. If not, I'll see you here tomorrow on YouTube. If there's anything I can ever help you with, right? Like, yes, I have training. Yes, I have masterminds. Yes, I have courses, but my core business is service. All right. So whether it's links, PR, website traffic, maps traffic, I promise you, if it's search marketing related, I have you covered. All right. So just click on this little button right here and you can see all that we offer. All right. My brother and I have decided to create a whole nother product or another website in order to service the complete done for you clients, right? So it's fully managed, and that will be Team Palmer. I also want to point out search engine optimization tools.com. That's a cool domain, right? Search engine optimization tools, 12,000 monthly traffic. Ooh, can't wait to get that up and running. But if you'd like, go and try out our entity tool. That'll be the first tool that's on there as a sample. Also, in order to help promote, because I'm going to have my keyword cannibalization tool, my entity tool, my review checker, and my maps grid checker done in the coming 2 months. But as a way to promote the website and get it as a bookmark so people remember it, I have a location switcher. That's a Chrome extension that it's done. We're finishing up the artwork for it, or my partner is. And also, we'll have our own Chrome checker just like this one. But of course, better. In my opinion, better. So yeah, it's been a pleasure. That's it. Proxies. From now until April, my partner is losing his mind because we're doing them pretty cost effectively right now. But from now until April, you can lock in. It's $25 for a mobile proxy. Like, nobody, I promise you that's unheard of. So I don't pitch, but this is a private group, so I'm telling you, this is what we have. Also, too, since you're in this group, all right, if you need any service and you're looking for a discount, right, part of this group, there's a coupon that changes. 5%, anything you want, SEO Mastermind in all caps. My name's Chris Palmer. If you need anything, I have time. Ask in the section below, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Bye, Kyle and Dune, Julia, Skillix, Rank Dominion, Alex, Iranian, everybody, Carlos, everybody that was here. Thank you. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I'm glad I could share and help you. It's been a pleasure. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Oh, Randy. Not to forget my guy, Randy. Bye, Randy. And everybody. And Brett and Dune, Carlos, AB, Randy, Call, Dune again, AY, Trevor, You Got My Money, Decalish Retreat, Green Lawn Augusta, Tim, D. Armandus Wood Floors, Nick G, Edel, everybody. I love you guys. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.